Welcome back. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the concept of why we serve, and I'm simply stating this from, again, my own perspective from, the reasons behind my twin brother serving in this country and so forth, and the other Marines that I personally know. But again, this a couple days ago, I saw this bill that was being presented by a congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, referring to recruiting, specifically in high schools. And I believe she's trying to pass these bills to prevent any funding from military presence in these high schools. So again, I'm going to just talk a little bit. I'm going to read what she says and then analyze it from my perspective and my experience. And then also, there was one statement towards the end that I actually agreed with for the most part. But again, to me, how this is offending me and how I believe it would offend a lot of the Marines that I know in the military, that I know in military families, is just, again, the lack of understanding, the lack of respect being given for the military and for those who choose to serve. And so I'm just going to start off with what she says. So she talks about, in many public high schools where military recruiters have a daily presence, there's not even a counselor. As a result, the military stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like the only option for many young, low-income Americans. Now again, I don't feel like this is being respectful at all because, one, the military does not pay anything. If you enlist in the military, you're not going to get paid a whole lot. I believe a private in the Marine Corps starts off making around $1,500-$1,600 a month. So, I mean, you can work at McDonald's and make more money than you would in the Marine Corps. And again, you're not going to be shot at, or not likely going to get shot at if you work at McDonald's. So again, feeling like it's the only option when basic, non-skilled positions at jobs that you can get pretty regularly. Again, it's not a valid point. And again, simply stating that people don't make this choice out of being selfless, out of a desire to serve their country and protect their loved ones, that they're only making because they feel like they have no option, to me is an insult, specifically when my twin brother joined the Marine Corps when we were both in high school. So again, if you want to say that some people might feel this way, that there is some I say feeling like you're cornered, I'm sure that in some positions people do join the military because they do feel like it's their only option. But I wouldn't say that many, I wouldn't summarize that the kids in high school, again, specifically saying that these recruiters are targeting low income Americans, like somehow there's something on your forehead that says what your parents make. Again, my brother went to a public school and he was recruited and he made it his choice. And he, again, I knew my twin brother better than anyone knew him. And I can tell you for a fact that he joined the military, he joined the Marine Corps because he wanted to serve his country. That was his calling. So again, I'm going to move on to the next point where she talks about, she says the armed forces, she told the Times, can for some provide a rewarding career. Again, my twin brother did not join the Marine Corps for rewards. Again, I would say that the majority of people that join the military do not do so for self-rewarding. They do it to be selfless. To me, I think the military is the most selfless thing you can do as an individual because, again, you're not getting paid anything. You're not getting paid, again, what a starting position at just about any and every job would pay you. And again, you're risking your life, or you're potentially risking your life to do this job. So again, I feel like that's a very disrespectful thing to summarize that somehow that's what motivates people to join the military is self-reward. But I'll move on. Again, she talks about, but recruitment should not be targeted to poor students while low-income Americans are not being given anywhere near the same information or access to trade schools, college, and other postgraduate opportunities. Are they not aware of Facebook and social media? Do they not have Google? Really? You're just assuming that everyone who serves in the military, or the majority of people who serve in the military, have a lack of opportunity to knowing that other jobs exist? Again, that's to me an insult to those individuals choosing, simply summarizing the only way that they would choose to serve in the military is because they have no knowledge of any other occupation. That is, again, highly disrespectful. And again, coming from a U.S. Congresswoman who gets paid six figures, again, she worked at a bar before she became a U.S. Congresswoman. That would imply that you don't have to have some prestigious college degree to advance. So again, she's a testimony of the ability to not simply say that, oh, the only choice I have is to risk my life to get paid pennies. Again, I realize that one of the things that I say a Marine recruit that I met in Marine Corps boot camp was he told me he joined the Marines for college tuition, which again would be somewhat in line with what she's saying. But I'll point out one thing: the majority of the Marines I met, none of them joined for college tuition. Again, that was a nice benefit, but again, you're not going to join the hardest military branch in the country if you just want to get college paid for. And again, that's a huge advantage. I realized that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wants college to be free, and so in her view, risking your life for that opportunity might seem like this. You don't have no choice, but the ability to not have to worry about college tuition provided for you because you served them in the military, that is a great opportunity. So again, I don't see this trying to make people act like somehow there's this tunnel that they have to walk through, and the only option is by default to risk their lives for their country. And there are plenty of opportunities to get scholarships for academics, for sports, and so forth. There's plenty of times where you don't have to go to the most prestigious school to get an education. So again, just diminishing the sacrifice, again, I find it very insulting. But I'll move on to, I think there's a point where, and this is the part where I actually agree for the most part of what she's talking about. She talks about it's incredibly irresponsible. Where is it? Well, she's talking about how in the Army now they paused a streaming channel frequently featuring soldiers streaming first-person shooters such as Call of Duty, Warzone, and the Valorant, as well as other games including Smash Bros, which I have no idea how that she would correlate that playing Smash Bros is somehow diminishing combat, but I would say that I do think it is. I don't want to say unintentionally. Unless I am talking the recruiters themselves, I can't assume what their intent is of playing and streaming Warzone, but I could see where that's being used to try to diminish the risk, because obviously in these video games you're not taking the same risk you would with your real life, and so I do think it's important to not take away from the reality of what they're risking. But again, you're assuming that an adult who consents to serving their country is somehow ignorant to think that a video game and actual life in the military is the same thing. Again, I feel like it's an insult to the intelligence of those serving their country and joining the military. So again, I do think it is important to not allow recruiters to mislead what their service is going to be like by saying essentially it's like this video game. I'm not saying that's what they're saying, but that in fact is true. I do think that would be irresponsible of recruiters to diminish the reality and the real risk that those who choose to serve this country are taking. But the one thing that I really liked that she pointed out was she said it's incredibly irresponsible for the Army and the Navy to be recruiting impressionable young people and children via live streaming platforms. The Congresswoman told the Motherboard, war is not a game, and the Marine Corps decision not to engage in this recruiting tool should be a clear signal to other branches of the military to cease this practice entirely. Now that I love the heck out of. Me being a little biased and joining the Marine Corps, and my twin brother serving honorably in the Marine Corps. But again, I think it's important to not diminish the sacrifice. If you want to remove the streaming aspect, if you want to remove anything that might be misleading a naive mind, I can appreciate that. But to assume again that everyone who's honorably choosing to serve in the military is doing so because they feel it is, one, their only option, and two, because they can't tell the difference between a video game and reality, is an insult to those who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. And again, I'm not going to call her names. I'm not going to say, I do think that her intent is well. It may not be. I don't know her, but I do think that she is intending to protect the innocent. I feel like she's intending to be honorable. And that I can't appreciate. But again, I do think it's important for her to self-reflect and to get information from people who have served in the Marine Corps and served in the Navy and the Army and the National Guard and in the Coast Guard and the Air Force. And again, also talk to their families on their experience, on why our loved ones joined and why they were willing to give their lives. Because I can guarantee you there are plenty of people out there who did so because they wanted to be able to put themselves between harm's way and their loved ones, between their country. They wanted to protect people. That's why they joined. Again, enlisted military don't get paid anything. Again, if you look at so many different things, the benefits of the military, it's a double-edged sword where, yes, they have this benefit, but again, they're constantly being put in these self-sacrificing situations where I don't feel that I feel like the majority of the people who choose to serve do so because they're choosing to live a selfless life, not because they have no option, not because they're not intelligent enough to tell the difference between a video game and in real life. It's because they know that there's an evil out there, and that the evil wants to hurt us. And again, I'm not saying that every war has been justified and that every interaction is justified and that's the intent of the people that send them. But again, the reason why brave men and women go to war is because they want to help and they want to put themselves in between the enemy and ourselves. And again, that's not anything that should be diminished or taken away or belittled. So hopefully we can make some progress with all these conversations. Hopefully we can come together and again have healthy dialogue and educate our own perspectives on the subjects, because again, there may be certain pockets of people where they do feel like this is the only option. But again, just the fact that she isn't ever citing a group of military personnel who are young who feel like they were duped or something. Again, it's simply her own perspective on why somebody would join. Because again, from her perspective, she doesn't see the benefit. She doesn't see the value in living that selfless life. I'm not saying that she's not selfless at all. I'm just saying that because she doesn't give it value, somehow it doesn't have value, which is not true at all. To me, like I said, I think the most honorable people in this country are those who choose to lay their lives down for each other. But as always, good luck and good night.